Good day, boxing fans. Saturday night at Emperor's Palace, Kevin Lerena meets his German rival Senad Gashi over 12 rounds for the WBC's vacant interim Bridgerweight world title. It is an intriguing fight on many levels, and if you're interested to break it down, stick around. Saturday night at Emperor's Palace, Kevin Lerena takes on the German-based Senad Gashi over 12 rounds for the WBC's interim Bridgerweight world title. The Bridgerweight division is, of course, a weight division only recognized by the WBC between cruiserweight and heavyweight. I think the limit is 224 pounds. And whatever you think of a weight division, whether you think it's a good idea or not, most people don't want more titles, but you could make an argument seeing what the weight gaps are these days between cruiserweights and the average heavyweight. Still, that is irrelevant to me. What is important is this is a good fight for Kevin Lerena's career. Should he win here and he becomes an interim champion, should the champion, Lukas Rozanski, decide to vacate, or should he lose his title, I believe he's scheduled to fight Badu Jack. Should he lose when Jack retires, then automatically they either fight Kevin, or if they don't, and something like that happens, Lerena will automatically become the full WBC champion at the weight. But now, what about his opponent? I think it's an intriguing fight, and the Bridgerweight thing and the interim titles is one thing that's sort of besides the point for me. But he has to get past Senad Gashi first. Now, Gashi has got a record of 27 wins, 3 losses, 1 no contest, and a very impressive looking 26 knockouts. And unlike Lerena, who campaigned mostly as a cruiserweight for his career, and then had a stint at heavyweight, that we all know he gave Daniel Dubois a big scare, and then it went pear-shaped for him, and now he's in this Bridgerweight division. So Gashi has fought most of his career as a heavyweight, and he's got 3 losses. Now, his first loss was in a wild brawl against German rival Tom Schwarz, who later went on to challenge Tyson Fury. You can go look at it on YouTube. Headbutts and low blows galore. Absolute mess of a fight. It's the German version of Golota Bow, though I doubt anything can get as bad as that. But Gashi clearly can get into the rough stuff if he wants to, so the referee will have to be on his P's and Q's, and the Lerena camp will have to be aware of that. But then in 2018-19, he took 2 losses against well-known heavyweights. The first one he lost on points to Derek Chisora, then still a very dangerous Derek Chisora, and then he got stopped in 7 rounds by Carlos Takam, who's running on fumes now, but then Takam was still a very good heavyweight. So he didn't make the cut at heavyweight, much like Lerena, but he is used to fighting these bigger opponents. Now, if we look at their sizes, there's not much of a discrepancy. You know, he's listed at 6 foot and a half an inch here in box rec, Gashi is, but he looks a little bit shorter than Lerena, but I've seen at the press conference. I'll be at the weigh-in on Friday and we'll see then. But I don't think there's massive height and reach advantages here. Now, the other thing is they are both southpaws. Now, Gashi likes to fight in that southpaw stance, and he likes to fight on his toes. He likes to circle and move a lot, and he will look for his second hand, his straight left. He'll pop that in, and when he hits that, that's when he flurries and he lets his hands go. And then if his rival is too strong, like most of the heavyweights, where he gets back on his bicycle again, hence his nickname of Gashin Gun. Now, he's got that, and another thing that Senad Gashi does is he can fight in the orthodox stance, and when he opens up, he sometimes steps over into the orthodox stance, much like Mike Tyson used to step over into a southpaw stance when he goes into the right to the body and the right uppercut to the head, and then he corrects himself again when he gets out at an angle. Now with Gashi, he sometimes steps over an orthodox stance when he opens up, but that correction is not nearly as smooth. It is sort of a little awkward side step, and there's a little split second pause there where he corrects, where he's in the kill zone. That's a thing that I've noticed that Kevin Lerena could exploit. Now, the thing is, if we look at Gashi's impressive knockout ratio, 26 knockouts and 27 wins, but you always have to look at the quality of position when you look at knockouts, and if I look at them, he hasn't knocked out anybody really good. He doesn't have wins over any really good fighters. That is missing from his record. And I think Kevin Lerena has clearly fought the better guys. And at least the wins that he has fought Gashi, Takam, and Chisora, and so on, but those are heavyweights. So Kevin, on paper, the way it looks to me, I don't think Gashi has enough for Kevin Lerena. I think Riyad Mahrez, Kevin Lerena's last win, a very good win, especially seeing that he was coming off the back of a Dubois fight. I think that was really the toughest test for Kevin Lerena, and Gashi to me doesn't look like he has what it takes to beat Kevin Lerena. But we know what happened the other day in Monte Carlo with Steven Onchinga. You can never take anybody lightly, because yes, Gashi couldn't make a dent power-wise in the likes of Derek Chisora or Carlos Takam. They just walked him down. But you know, Kevin Lerena is, even though Takam and Chisora are not the biggest heavyweights out there, they're still quite significantly bigger than Kevin is. So Gashi might be able to hurt Kevin Lerena, and I saw in a press conference he's determined to win this on knockout because he doesn't think he can win on points. It's always wise for a visiting fighter to have that attitude. But can he hurt Kevin Lerena? Now, Kevin, we know, can be hurt as a heavyweight, but Gashi cannot hit as hard as Daniel Dubois. I'm pretty sure of that. But he has been fighting bigger rivals more often than Kevin Lerena has. And I'm thinking that I don't know if Gashi will be on his bicycle and attack in spurts like he normally does, or whether he'll stand and train more, whether the fact that he's not fighting such a big guy will make him a lot more confident and a lot more aggressive. And can he hurt Kevin Lerena? I don't think so, but we can't completely take that out of the equation. You know, he might be able to, because he's hitting on a smaller man. Now with Kevin Lerena, can he hurt Gashi? That's another question. I think on the world-class level, Kevin has never been a huge puncher. You know, for lower level guys he takes out, but once the opponent becomes really good, he doesn't really knock them out. I do think if I look at the way Riyad Mahrez fought Kevin Lerena in their last fight, Mahrez was oddly passive, and he was very cautious, more cautious than I expected him to be. And that tells me that Kevin Lerena does have power in his punches. He's not a knockout puncher, but he's definitely got enough on his shots to get the respect. So if I'm Kevin Lerena and we're sitting with Senad Gashi, if I look for a guy that stopped Gashi, Carlos Takam, made a lot of use of those body shots, I would go to the body of Gashi. I think he's quicker, he's more explosive than Senad Gashi. He's a bit more well-rounded. If I look at Gashi, the word awkward comes to mind. So it might be an ugly fight, it might not be the prettiest fight, but I think Kevin Lerena has got to do what he does, and he's got to just not walk into anything stupid. He's got to keep his jab busy, and he's got to gradually break Senad Gashi down by hitting him in the body, by cutting off a ring if he elects to move. And in the inside, he's got to watch the wild stuff, the rough stuff, because Gashi, as we've seen in the Swatch fight, I don't know if it was just that specific fight that had the guys melting down, much like Harry Coetzee and Mike Schutter so many years ago. But he's going to have to watch the rough stuff inside. So I think the Lerena camp will be looking to look impressive. Now, as far as Senad Gashi goes, one thing about Kevin Lerena is your classic reply to a southpaw like Lerena is the straight right, and Kevin Lerena does get hit with those straight rights. If we looked at his last fight against Mahrez hit him with caught him with several of those straight rights on the button, and he was able to hit Kevin. And Dubois, of course, the thing that started the demise was a right. So Kevin has got a way of sometimes getting away of that straight right. So I almost think if I'm Senad Gashi, I will try and fight in the orthodox stance more so than in the southpaw stance more often, and see if he can nail Kevin Lerena with that. Failing that, he's going to have to rely on his awkwardness and box and move and win on points. So it all depends if that high knockout ratio of Senad Gashi can translate on a world-class level that Kevin Lerena is, and if that power can translate on there, because it didn't as a heavyweight, it could as a 224-pounder. We're not so sure about that, but to me, in the end, Kevin Lerena is just a better layered fighter. He's beaten more quality opponents than Senad Gashi. I think that Gashi has going for him. He's going to be more used to the bigger weight, and for him, fighting a guy like Kevin Lerena will be as a bit of a welcome relief as opposed to a Derek Chisora or Carlos Takam. I think that's what Gashi's got going for him, and his awkwardness. But I think Kevin Lerena has just been a better fighter. He's had the better career. and I think he will beat Senad Gashi. Will he be able to stop him? Takam was able to, Chisora couldn't, and those were heavyweights. So can Kevin Lerena stop Senad Gashi? He might if he opens up enough, if he bangs the body enough. But my feeling is he's going to win on points. Kevin paces himself well. He doesn't go all out and gas himself out. He's become a sort of a calculated, sometimes even careful fighter. So I think that Kevin Lerena is going to win this one on points. It's going to be awkward moments. There's going to be messy moments. But I'm going for Kevin Lerena to do this on points. And I'm hoping it's going to be a good fight. It's an important one for Kevin Lerena's career to win this thing and pick up that interim strap, whether you recognize it or not. It's going to get him to the bigger fights. So that's my take on it, guys. If you have watched this far, please smash that like button. I would appreciate that. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And also share among your boxing groups. And comment in the comment section on what I'm going to say now. Now, the Bridgerweight division, I'm a contributor to Ring. Ring doesn't recognize Bridgerweight. And none of us want more world titles and more weight divisions and all of that. But let me play devil's advocate. If you look at boxing in the divisions from middleweight down, all the junior or super divisions, 160 pounds, middleweight, 154, junior middleweight or super welterweight, then you get junior flyweight or light flyweight, 108 pounds. And then you get 112 pounds flyweight and you get 115 pounds super flyweight or junior bantamweight. My point being, from those divisions, those in-between divisions, in between the classic weight divisions from middleweight downwards, there is between 3 and 7 pounds weight difference, right? Not a lot of weight difference. So can we justify the existence of those lower weight divisions? And then complain, they are established now, we've had great champions, and then complain about the Bridgerweight division, because what heavyweight, when he's leaving the cruiserweight division at 200 pounds, is going to be fighting rivals that's 210 pounds. Your average heavyweight, if you go look at the top 10, they're much bigger and much heavier at this. So we're not talking about a 3 to 7 pound difference. We're not even talking about the difference between light heavyweight and cruiserweight, right? 175 pounds to 200 pounds. That's 25 pounds. That's a big gap already there, So that makes a difference. So there's a big gap between light heavyweight and cruiserweight already, and from cruiserweight to heavyweight, usually you're going to have more than at least a 25 pound difference. So how do we justify these in between weights in the lower weight divisions? But when they complain about the Bridgerweight thing, I think it's more a thing that people just don't want any more titles, and the guys that are that size, in lieu of going for a title, they'll rather go for the big money at heavyweight. And that's the thing that we had with the cruiserweights way back in the day when that division was established. That was 190 pounds back then. As soon as guys became champions, they tried their hands at heavyweight, and not many of them succeeded. Evander Holyfield did, David Haye did, Alexander Usyk did. But they would always do that. Al Cole, for example, was a good cruiserweight champion. And as a heavyweight, he was more or less a journeyman or a gatekeeper at best. And he made more money like that. So I think that is the bane of this Bridgerweight division of a WBC. But can we really be so outraged over it if we have all the rest going on in boxing? Let me know in the comment section what you think. And guys, please remember to subscribe. And until we see each other again, keep those hands up.